The Gary Henderson Show is brought to you by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety, Papa John's, Paul Miller Ford Mazda, P-Rats, Shelter Insurance, Specialty Foods Group, and by UK Healthcare.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the 6th week of the Gary Henderson Show for this baseball season. No doubt about it, the last couple of weeks have been very difficult for the Wildcats, but entering this weekend series against Auburn down in Alabama, the Cats are right in the thick of things in the SEC East, tied with Vandy for third place. Some of the highlights of this week's show will be a look at redshirt sophomore catcher Troy Squires, who had quite the heroic efforts in the final game of the Vandy series and then again against Arkansas. Speaking of guys who did well against the Razorbacks, you have to throw in Tyler Marshall, who came in emergency duty to collect almost as many hits in one game as he had all season. The midweek matchup this past week was against the Dayton Flyers, and what a weird game it was, because Mother Nature had something to say about how this thing would turn out. The game started at 5:30 in the afternoon, and then some 7 hours later, from first pitch to final pitch, we had a winner. We will also turn back the clock to 2013 and reach into our bag for yet another retro coaches tip. So sit back and enjoy the show. We will be right back to take a look at the Arkansas highlights. Stay with us. Thank you for staying with us this weekend for another edition of the Gary Henderson Show. You know, 2 weeks ago against Vandy, UK had to win Game 3 so they would not be swept. Well, unfortunately for the Cats, the same thing happened again this past weekend against the Arkansas Razorbacks. UK competitive in Game 1, competitive in Game 2, and it came down to some late-game heroics in the third and final game. Here are the highlights from this past weekend series with the Razorbacks.
Luke Becker not in the lineup for the series opener. Marshall sends one to left center field, and that's going to fall in front of Carson Shaddy. And a two-out base runner, the first base runner of the ball game for the Wildcats, as Marshall's aboard with a single. Runner goes, pitch out, throw down to second base. Could have been a botch hit and run there, as the second baseman Tyler Marshall tags out Luke Bonfield. Caught stealing, goes 2-4.
I mean, hold on.
Runner off first, 2-2, breaking ball. He went around, says the home plate umpire. Nomura, bouncer over the mound. Shortstop Riley Mahan behind the bag. Low throw picked out nicely, and there we see it from Evan White on the other end. 9 strikeouts, puck had 10. Good breaking ball, swing and a miss.
And make sure your catcher blocks it. He'll swing and miss it.
Breaking ball, tap. Brown again fielding his position well, throws to first, and that retires the side. Back to those outings where you've been roughed up, and just one run tonight is going to be the difference. And a leadoff single from Marshall.
You know, my opportunities have been limited, but I try to make the most of them when I get them. And you know, when Becker went down, I was just ready for my name to be called, and it was just a lot of fun. You know, first SEC game for me, and just try to take advantage of the opportunity. I was just really trying to be aggressive, not wait around for anything. I hadn't hit live pitching in a couple weeks prior to that, so I was just trying to be aggressive, see the fastball early, and take advantage of it.
2-1 pitch. Hammer in the alley. On the move is Squires. That gets to the wall. They're going to send Squires. Here comes the throw. Pompey to third, safe. The freshman comes through, Doug, almost on cue. Hammered, Rex on the move. And he hangs on to the baseball. Zach Rex. Hammered by Dorian Hairston. Go back, look up, it's gone.
Well, we told you about his power. He doesn't have to pull it. That ball is smoke. One of the few balls you'll see going out of center field, but I mean on a line drive, it was out of here.
Well, what do we say? He can turn a mistake into a home run right now.
Doc needs to be patient here. Get him when he can drive. Big hop.
Big hop, but is he safe? Yes! Tie game.
Good hustle that time.
Riley Mahan off on contact, and it's 4-4 with a winning run at second base.
With the game tied at 4-4, Troy Squires came to the plate. But you have to go back to the night before to set the stage.
Friday night, I had a chance. It was guy on second and third, and I grounded out to the shortstop. And that night, me and Javon, my roommate, we were sitting at the dinner table just discussing the game or whatnot. I said, hey, if I come up again this weekend with runners in scoring position, I swear I'll put the ball in play and get a hit. So sure enough, the next day I got my opportunity, and it was the same thing. You know, my approach never changed. Sitting fastball, timed up the fastball pretty well, and then luckily got one and just put a swing on it.
In the alley, it's down, and the Wildcats win it. Squires mobbed in right field. They're chasing him down. They want to do a better job of mobbing him, and they finally catch him.
That game was eerily similar to a couple of years ago when the Cats walked off against Arkansas. Zach Zellers, several years back in 2013, he was the hero as UK got that last hit to salvage the final game of the Arkansas series. When we come back, we'll take a look at the highlights from the Dayton Flyers game where Mother Nature just wreaked havoc for about 7 hours. That's next on the Gary Henderson Show. Midweek games are always important, especially when you have such a gauntlet of a schedule on the weekends in the Southeastern Conference. This past week, Kentucky played a familiar foe, the Dayton Flyers, who Kentucky handled a couple of weeks back earlier in the season. And it was also finally for Javon Shelby a time to break a huge slump that he's been in. But Mother Nature, she was the biggest factor in this game. Let's take a look at the highlights.
Plus, he is not a power hitter at first base, which is, as you know, seems to be a premium. That's what he does a lot. Hammers it off the fence into second base with the stand-up double. The line drive hitter, Evan White, ever encountered a ball player named Maverick, and he's going to make the play on Gunnar McNeil's ground ball. And the Kentucky first baseman picks up an RBI, and it's a 1-0 lead for the Wildcats. Infield looks for the double play, might get it here. Becker, Connor Hetty, Gunnar McNeil. 4-6-3, and they're out of it.
Just an outstanding play by Becker. That ball took a nasty little hop.
Absolutely crushed one like that in the Arkansas series. And the Hogs made a nice play on him. That one is high and deep. Drifting back is Susterstick, and he watches it clear the fence. And Javon Shelby homers again against the Dayton Flyers for the third time this year. 2-0 Wildcats. Home run number 7 for Shelby. Now give him 30 on the bases loaded walk, and it's 3-0 Kentucky. Runs it in on him. So Susterstick tracking. They're going to cut the throw, and it's a 4-0 Kentucky lead as Cole Cottom comes around to score. Welcome back to Cliff Hagan Stadium after a long rain delay, when quite frankly there wasn't much rain. It was because of lightning. The 0-1 to Jones. Stopped by Hetty. This time McNeil hangs on.
Well, that is a nice play.
Ahead in the count, 2-0. Inside out, does it get down? Yes, it does.
Storm Wilson on first is flying.
Storm Wilson, the pinch runner, all the way around to score. And the Wildcats lead it 5-3. The game now has been called here in Lexington. Kentucky wins it 5-3 Game finally called with 1 out in the bottom of the 8th.
On Wednesday, the Wildcats took on Miami of Ohio, and once again, weather delayed the start of the game by about an hour and a half. When it got going, so did the UK bats, finally coming to life for the first time in a couple of weeks, and UK poured it on, and they poured it on with authority. But not to be outdone was the pitching performance of Zach Lowe. First things first, start with the pitching.
Got him looking. Good fastball on the inner edge by Zach Loeb. So now Troy Squires, 241 average, and he's been doing a lot of that lately.
He sure has. Not wasting any time. Picks on the first pitch. Another base hit for the young catcher.
Mahan 2 for 2 now. Will it be 2 doubles? Makes the turn. Flannery up. Here's the throw. In easily with his second double of the night. Well, apparently Storm Wilson had it figured out. That's going to score 2. That's into the corner. Wilson makes the turn, and that's where he will remain. And it's 6-0 Wildcats. Here's the 2-2. Got him with a fastball on the inner edge. Outstanding pitch by Zach Lowe. Left edge of the rubber. Another called third strike. Back to back.
Yeah, that's why I got kicked out of 7 games.
Finally, Lowe jams him with a fastball, and Dull goes down on strikes. And that will find the corner and score a run. Shelby ripping the double into the left field corner, and it's a 7-1 Kentucky lead. 1 in here in the 4th. Smoked. In the alley, Romano and Hall give chase. Romano can't get it. Mahan with great speed. He'll find third base, and a triple for Riley Mahan drives in Javon Shelby. It's an 8-1 game.
Had it not been for him behind the plate, him and caught them both.
That's why they like him. What an arm on Troy Squires. 2 out. 3 out on another strikeout by Logue. Wildcats out of the inning. White's average up to 353. High and deep. And gone. Evan White is 4 for 4 after the home run.
When we come back, we talk pickoff moves with Keith Vorhoff. We go back in time to 2013. That's next on the Gary Henderson Show.
All right, I'm Keith Vorhoff, assistant baseball coach here at the University of Kentucky. We are here at beautiful, lovely Cliff Hagan Stadium, the home of the Kentucky Wildcat baseball program. We are fortunate today to be joined by Jared Grundy, a junior left-handed pitcher from Chicago, Illinois. Jared's going to help us today in demonstrating some of the pickoff moves that he utilizes to attack those base runners at first base. One thing that has helped the Wildcat baseball program lead the Southeastern Conference in the pickoffs defensively, as well as the fewest amount of stolen bases against. So let's get to it. But what we're going to do is we're going to have Jared demonstrate his standard regular pickoff move to first base as a left-handed pitcher. This is just a normal leg lift, straight to first base pick. We're just trying to keep him close with this move. So Jared, let's show those folks at home a couple of these here. Now, with this move, there's nothing tricky about it. We're just trying to keep that runner from stealing on that first movement of leg lift. Sometimes base runners will want to try to steal second off a left-hander, and they're totally rolling the dice. And they're just taking off on leg lift, and if Jared's picking, we're going to have ourselves a free out at second base. So let's see that move one more time. Okay, now a couple things with this move. We want to make sure that we have some consistency in the look that he gives the base runner prior to lifting the leg. One thing we want to always do as a pitcher is eliminate predictability. And one of the things that we want to always pay attention to, one, is our head. Are we giving anything away with our head? We want to be consistent in our look. Do we always look to the plate? Do we mix our look from first to the plate, back to first? Okay, and we also want to be consistent with the width of our feet. We don't want to be narrow when we pick versus wide when we pitch, or vice versa. The other thing, we want to come set in the same spot every time, regardless of picking or pitching. Oftentimes pitchers will give away one of these clues, and if we're on offense, we want to take advantage of it. And on the flip side, when we're on the mound, we want to make sure that we eliminate predictability. And so Jared does an excellent job with this. He comes set with his hands in the same spot every time. He mixes up the looks with his head, and his lower half is consistent whether he's pitching or picking. We're going to go ahead and demonstrate his best move to first base. And this is a move that we're going to use when we have an aggressive base runner at first base. We think he may be trying to read him to steal second base. And so we want to make it look as though we are going to the plate for as long as possible. This is a little bit more aggressive pick than the standard leg lift and going straight to first. We're trying to hopefully get this guy leaning, or maybe trying to attempt to steal. So let's go ahead and show him that best move, Jared. Very good. With that best move, Jared challenges that 45-degree line that the rules of baseball determine whether or not it's a balk. So what we want to do is we want to always make sure that we stay on this side of the 45. That way we're not getting called a balk in attempts to travel down that mound too far. But at the same time, we want to make it look as though we're going to the plate as much as possible, obviously without balking.
You're out.
All right, that about wraps up our segment of left-handed pickoff moves. Great thanks to Jared Grundy for helping us out and demonstrating some of the things that have allowed him to be successful in this area, as well as the Kentucky Wildcat baseball program and leading the Southeastern Conference in pickoffs. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Gary Henderson Show. Hopefully we will see you here at Cliff Hagan Stadium for some postseason action.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Pickoff moves, they've been a huge piece of the pitching arsenal for UK since Gary Henderson came on board as pitching coach a decade ago. When we come back, it's our plays of the week. Stick around. We'll wrap it up right after this. We're going to wrap it up now. And earlier you heard from Troy Squires, who was the hero in Game 3 against Vandy, the hero in Game 3 against Arkansas. In case you missed his heroics, and another home run from Dorian Hairston. Let's take a look.
In the alley. It's down. And the Wildcats win it. Squires mobbed in right field. They're chasing him down. They want to do a better job of mobbing him, and they finally catch him. Hammered. Rex on the move. And he hangs on to the baseball. Zach Rex. Hammered by Dorian Hairston. Go back, look up, it's gone.
Well, we told you about his power.
White's average up to 353. High and deep. And gone. Evan White is 4 for 4 after the home run. And the Wildcats lead it 9-1. Home run number 3 for Evan White.
So that will do it for this week's show. Next week we will take a look at the Auburn series, and after that, just 3 weeks remain in the 2016 regular season. Hope you've enjoyed the show. We'll see you next week at Cliff Hagan Stadium.
Play ball! The Gary Henderson Show was brought to you by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety, Papa John's, Paul Miller Ford Mazda, P-Rats, Shelter Insurance, Specialty Foods Group, and by UK Healthcare.